March 23, 1939. Oslo Harbor. In the pale light of a Norwegian dawn, a vessel prepared to slip away from the eyes of the world. Its captain, Knut Olsen, was no stranger to ice and storm. His 31 crewmen had braved the northern winds before, but this time their destination lay far to the south, Antarctica. Their task was presented as simple, almost poetic: to recover the tent of Roald Amundsen, Norway's most celebrated son, left standing on the ice at the South Pole in 1911. With it, they would chart new studies of glaciers, polar wildlife, and, perhaps most curiously, retrace the migrations of Viking explorers across frozen seas. At the heart of this mission was not a sailor but a scholar, Olav Haugen, historian, archaeologist, a man whose lectures had filled university halls and whose obsession with the lost footprints of the Norse stretched back to his boyhood. Haugen assembled a company of intellectuals as diverse as they were gifted. Among them were Borg Andersen, climatologist, and Helga Engberg, anthropologist and philologist, fluent in languages forgotten by most of Europe. To their families, it was a journey of honor. To the press, it was a voyage of national pride. To the men themselves, it would become something far darker. By the year's end, the vessel returned, but not from Antarctica. Its prow cut the waters of the Arctic Sea, and its crew, men once jovial and proud, now kept their silence. Knut Olsen, once a fixture of Oslo's harbor, withdrew from public life. Haugen and his scientists retreated into the shadows. Something had gone wrong, terribly wrong. December 1939. Out of nowhere, Haugen and his colleagues stepped into the light. In Oslo, they unveiled a collection of artifacts said to have been pulled from a 19th century shipwreck. But the relics defied every boundary of time and place. Coins from the Near East, carvings from South America, scrolls of Europe's medieval past, tools and weapons of ages separated by centuries. The press swarmed, scholars demanded answers, and then silence again. Haugen, Engberg, Andersen, all vanished. Their artifacts remained, but the story of their origin was buried. 2 months later, Nazi Germany invaded Norway. The strange collection of relics came to the attention of the Ahnenerbe, the SS bureau devoted to racial mythology, ancient history, and the occult. They scoured Norway for Haugen and his companions, but the men and women of the voyage had melted away like snow into the dark. For 6 years, nothing more was heard. It was not until 1945, when the war itself lay in ashes, that the story surfaced again. Kristoff Dahlen was a diplomat, a rising star in Norway's foreign service. But beneath the surface of politics, he was a scholar of uncommon breadth, a historian, an anthropologist, a master of languages. He could read the lost tongues of Europe and converse in the ancient dialects long dead. One evening in the autumn of that year, a courier reached Kristoff Dahlen. He carried a single message, a name, Helga Engberg, his former lecturer, the woman who was among those involved on the expedition years earlier. When Dahlen arrived at her residence, he found her frail, reduced by age, but unshaken. Her mind remained sharp, her eyes unflinching. Without ceremony, she pressed into his hands a battered suitcase. Its locks were worn, the leather scarred by years of travel. Engberg pleaded with him to once again wear the robe of the scholar he had once been. She urged him to be wise, to use every means at his disposal, to continue the work that she and her colleagues had struggled to understand and to protect. But when he pressed her for details, she refused to elaborate further. That night, in the silence of his own home, Kristoff Dahlen opened the suitcase. Inside, he found notebooks, dozens of them, each penned in the hand of a member of the 1939 expedition. Each page a fragment of a puzzle that had consumed 6 years of silence. But at the center, wrapped in cloth, lay something else, a silver box, seamless, gleaming, alien in its perfection. It bore no hinges, no lock, no mark of origin. It seemed less an artifact than an intrusion, as though it had not been built by hands of the present nor of the past, but by something entirely other. Upon its surface, a single note in Engberg's hand. Read the notebooks before you open this. Hours later, news reached him. Helga Engberg had been found dead. The official report was brief. The cause: heart failure.